Yes, just step right there in front of the mic so everybody can hit you at the same time. First obvious question is, how are you feeling?
Relieved. Relieved. Because I was nervous and scared. Yeah. I'm relieved and I'm happy that justice was served. Of course we wanted the death penalty, but this was good. So I'm happy that Judge Young did the right thing and got the right justice for Aniah.
Are you concerned at all about that? I didn't hear like the possibility of parole. Are you concerned at all about having to deal with this, possibly in the future?
I know we're going to have to deal with a lot of things for it, appeals and such, but to be honest, I'm confident. I'm real confident about it. So, yeah, that's going to be hard, but I think this was the hardest part, and then the rest is going to happen like it's supposed to happen as well. And, yeah, I can't talk much about, what's going to happen in the future, but I do know we're going to have to deal with a lot of things, and but this feels good. And I'm happy that this was done.
What would you like to say to your daughter right now?
That I'm proud of her for fighting. I might as well just say how I truly feel. My daughter fought a very violent criminal. She fought hard, and she got him off the street so he could never hurt anybody again. And that feels good, that we know that he'll never hurt anybody else again.
What's next for you?
Keep fighting for people, and through her with honor, with Aniah's Heart, with her nonprofit, with victims advocacy. I'm going to be starting, just jumping right back in there and fighting for our people of our state, nationally, anything that I can do to help people, to help victims and their families. That's my next plan.
How hard was it to write that definitive text? I can't imagine trying to put into words what you must think.
It's hard to talk about somebody that's absolutely perfect and that means everything to you, like the word, like you have all these words in your head that you want to say and things you want to say because it's in your heart and it's there, but it's hard to write them down. But I felt like that the things I said, were exactly how I feel. And I smile when I talk about Aniah because that's what she made me do her whole life. She made me smile. She made all of us smile. Everybody knows that. If I saw my baby walk in from wherever she was at, home, coming home, I smiled. If she would come see me at work, she would just pop up randomly. I'm smiling, and because I loved her so much. And she was just the most beautiful, sweetest thing, and yeah.
You read a note from your daughter during the victim impact part. Can you talk a little bit about why that was so important to make their voices heard as well?
Because that's their sister, and our family's very close. Like, I don't know how to describe it. At home, me, Walt, the kids, we just did everything together. And Ayla and Asa and Elijah, they didn't deserve it. They deserved to have their sister. And they deserve to have their voices heard because they are her sister. She was their sister. And so they don't need to be silenced either. They needed to say and get that off. It's healing, too, to be able to say how they feel and what they wanted to happen. So I think that was very important.
This question for Walt, what did it mean to you to be able to look at him and say, our family is not victims, you don't get the final word, you don't get the final say, we're victorious in this?
It meant everything. It's something I've been waiting on and working toward for 6.5 years. It's been a hard process. Every day is different. We're still grieving, but it was important to look him in the eyes and let him know he didn't win, and that we have the power. I'm a faith-based person, and that's kind of how we operate our family. We believe in a higher power, so I wanted him to know evil didn't win. God always wins in the end.
I was very defeated after the capital murder charge, and the death penalty wasn't upheld, but now I'm thankful and I'm appreciative because this is justice as well. So, and he'll never get out. I know that with my whole heart. So.
And you did wait to speak about it until sentencing came around. How does it feel to be able to openly talk about it?
Yeah, it feels good to be able just to release all that I've had built up that I've been wanting to say for a long time. I can finally speak freely now, and that feels good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Can we just say thank you?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
to the Attorney General's office. Everybody in their office, everybody in law enforcement that had a hand in this case, we can't thank them enough. They worked tirelessly on this. Josh Mixon, wow, that dude is incredible. I didn't realize how much he had on him until the trial started, and I'm just grateful and thankful for him, and again, Steve Marshall and everybody at the Attorney General's office.
Yes, absolutely. I want to say thank you to them as well, Governor Ivey as well, because she, when Aniah was missing, she's the first person to step up and put out a reward, and she has also given her support for Aniah's law. That's something huge for our state, and I know you all know about it. And it means everything to us. Yes, they worked very hard. And we're so thankful that we had the team, and for Steve Marshall as well.
And
yeah.
With Amendment 1, what would you say to voters about today and how that impacts the law and just the expansion of it generally?
Well, May 19th, for people who don't know, we are expanding Aniah's law to add 2 more violent crimes, and that is shooting into an occupied dwelling, whether that be a house, a car, a boat, because that was not considered as violent as some crimes, and we all know that that's a violent crime. I worked at Children's of Alabama in the emergency department for 20 years, and we would see kids every week at least come in from people shooting into houses or shooting into a car. And so I know how important that is. So I'm thankful for that. And also attempted murder is being added, and conspiracy to commit murder. And so we just keep adding. I can't wait. It'll be expanded more as well as we keep going over the years. So I'm very thankful. I'm thankful to the judges and the DAs that are using Aniah's law. It's working. It is working. And that I can't even say how good that feels to know that Aniah is saving so many lives. Yes, she had to fight for hers and lose her life, but this is what she would have wanted. Yep.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know which way we're going.
Elijah, would you mind talking to us?
No, I don't mind. I waited for this moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us how you're feeling.
Today, God has spoken today. We have gone through 6.5 years. I've been very quiet about it. I feel like the state of Alabama put on a very good case. I want to thank Attorney General Steve Marshall, the state team, for the diligence they worked, the time they put into this case, the effort they put into this case. I feel like justice was served today, and most definitely feel very highly favored at this particular time.
I know you and Angela both wanted more in the conviction. Do you feel like this is as good as it could get for the guilty verdict that you got?
Considering the circumstances, we were dealing with a criminal that has been a lifelong criminal, and the process, the way they had to do it, I feel like the conviction was most definitely warranted, and the state of Alabama had to most definitely put on a really good case for this to happen. So this conviction most definitely means a long history of things that he's been doing will now come to light. So I am so happy about the conviction. So even though it wasn't what we really initially wanted, however, it is going to be able to have an effect on those victims who have suffered prior to Aniah. But my daughter's name speaks now, and her name was able to get a conviction, and I'm most definitely happy to see whatever happens going forward, that he will be behind bars for the rest of his life.
Elijah, in court, you had asked the court to consider the human cost. Can you talk a little bit about the human cost?
My daughter was more than just a headline. She was more than just evidence in the courtroom. She was more than just testimonies. So when I said price of a human life, she meant her life mattered. And I feel like when I asked the judge to consider that, I wanted him to understand that the price of life does not have a price tag on it. A price of life does not have a time in prison. A price of life is what I asked for them to consider. So a human life to me was my daughter's life, and I felt like her life mattered enough where he should not be able to see the light of day outside of behind the bars. So that's what I meant by that.
Elijah, we really haven't heard from you very much through this. Is there anything you want to say, or how are you feeling right now?
I mean, I'm glad that finally the court case is over, but I just want everyone to know that Aniah's story is not over. We're going to keep fighting for her. We're going to keep fighting for other victims that have done that has gone through the same things that we have, and we're going to make sure this doesn't happen to as many people as we can. So I'm just grateful for the verdict and the sentencing, and I'm glad that we can keep working, and hopefully we can keep Aniah's light going strong.
You two were so close in age. Were you close siblings?
Yeah, we were very close. Yeah, we were basically twins growing up, very close. I don't remember a time before her until, her life was taken from us. So I love her, I miss her a lot, and like I said, I won't let people forget her.
What would you say to your daughter and your sister right now?
Justice has been served. Her life was taken, but with her life being taken, it was able to give a positive impact to other victims going forward. With Aniah's law, the judge has the right to use their honorable discretion now to keep those criminals behind bars. And by that, her life being lost was able to have that law put into place. So most definitely Aniah is smiling down right now, knowing that even though she's in a better place now, but even her life and her legacy will continue to go, and it will continue to impact other victims. And we won't have violent criminals out, because judges now have, if it's an egregious crime, they have the right now to say, hey, you have no bail. And that most definitely speaks highly from what her life meant to other people.
There is a proposed amendment right now to Aniah's law to add some additional crimes. What would you say to voters who are going to be voting on that this morning?
If you have children, or if you have family members you love, and if you don't like victims being out here running around and amongst our humanity, most definitely vote yes on Aniah's law, so it will be able to impact, so it can add additional crimes to that long list that already does it. So if it's an egregious crime and they have to be able to sit behind bars, give the judicial system the opportunity to make that determination, so they will be able to keep those criminals from being around these other people and around the world.
Elijah, having been able to testify so early in the trial, how does it feel to have played such a big role in getting to this life sentence today?
It feels good. I mean, it took a long time, and I had a lot of time to think of it, and just being a part of this, just helping my sister get justice means a lot to me. And I'm glad that we were able to get the verdict, well, not necessarily wanted, but a good one, and one that will at least keep him off the street and keep him from hurting other people.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.